the host.
I know, but why? Okay, it worked for me. Hold on a second. Let me just figure out what to do. I'm gonna send the students a message real quick. Do you want me to send them back to breakout rooms or?
Well, first let's make sure you can get logged in.
I'm logged in. I'm logged in.
Okay. No, let's keep them in the room. Hey.
Hi. All right. I just put a message in Slack. I said just log back in and I'll let you in the waiting room in a moment. Let me just get everything ready because I want to figure out what exactly.
All right, just start with what's it called? Lesson 1, the app.py.
Okay, nothing says app.py, but it's this.
Okay, that's the app.py, yeah.
Okay, that starts
Wait,
with.
no, well, no, it's just the bottom part. It's from Flask.
Okay, from
That's,
there.
yeah, that's
Just this.
app.py. Yeah.
Okay.
Done.
And he's just trying to tell us what we did wrong, I think. Do you want me to open a whole new VS Code window or do you want me to go from here?
Okay, where I'm trying to see where you are.
I was doing the tutorial and I have like
Oh yeah, let's do a new one. We're gonna have to do like oh, do you have virtual environment?
yeah.
Oh yeah, let's do a new window because they do have authentication and everything. I don't want to mess it up.
Well, it barely works anyway, so
Oh no. You, we have people in the room?
no, they're in the waiting room.
Okay.
I told them and that they're gonna wait in the waiting room for a minute.
Okay. Oh God. My stress level, my blood pressure is like through the roof right now.
Okay, everything's fine. What do I call this file?
App.py.
App.py.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, app.py and then make lesson 1.html.
This one in here?
Make another file.
Okay.
I'll make a folder called templates. You're gonna have to make a folder called templates. And then inside there do lesson 1.html.
And this is where I put the stuff.
Yeah. Okay. Oh no, that's for app.py. It's the other one. Do you put that in app.py? I think already, didn't you? Oh no, right there. Okay. And now go back into your Slack and let me get my notes for Flask so you can do your. It's the very first one.
The one that starts with doc type.
There.
This stuff.
Yep.
That
Oh
goes
wait,
in
is
the,
that the first one? That's the first one I sent you, right?
yes.
Yeah, that's the first one. The other ones I'm pretty sure I labeled.
And this goes in
Lesson 1. It just should say hello. Where'd your thing go? Yeah, that's it. Okay. Oh, stop it, Donald, for Pete's sake.
Do you want me to let them in?
Yeah.
All right.
Jess, you're gonna have to guide me as to like when you're ready.
Okay.
I can't look at my notes and then see everybody because I'm on my phone. Oh my God. Just can someone shoot me right now?
That's hard
I
to
would, but that's a permanent solution to a temporary problem.
I know. I know.
Thank you guys for coming back.
I'm so sorry. This is all my fault. It's my computer's fault, but
No big deal. This happens. It is real life driver navigator coding, like James
Yeah.
said.
okay.
All right.
So what we're doing right now is I've sent Jessica the lesson code. So Jessica is going to be navigating the lesson. I'm going to be speaking. And we're just going to play it by ear at this point. And I hope to get my computer fixed in whatever it is that it's doing at this point by tomorrow's lesson. And I'm very apologetic.
Well, good job. Resourceful and resilient. And thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay. So today's lesson is the introduction to, it's a very light introduction to JavaScript front end. And what we're going to be doing today is literally just, dipping your toe into what is JavaScript for the front end and kind of just playing around with it. And talking about the difference between what Python, like what you use for Python and what like mainstream industry, and the versatility of Python versus what most people use, JavaScript front end versus back end. And then kind of just showing you some examples. And then tomorrow we're going to be doing a full to-do app using Owen's CRUD, Flask, and some JavaScript. Okay, so I think that for Python for backend, has several frameworks. Okay, so you have Django, you have Flask, and these frameworks provide the structure to build web applications with features like URL routing, database integration, and like user authentication, and like the security features like the HTTPS. Python is not limited to web development. It's versatile in fields like data science, machine learning, and automation. It's primarily used for those things. If you want to go into like machine learning or AI, you definitely want to be strong in Python. It's advantageous in that sense. The libraries in Python have a rich ecosystem, libraries and modules for data manipulation, like pandas, which is a really cool name. I don't know where it comes from. It has database management like SQLite or Alchemy, and then it has API development. So then when we flip to JavaScript, JavaScript's back-end capabilities largely are facilitated by Node.js, which is a runtime environment that allows you to run JavaScript on the server side. It's known for its event-driven I/O model, making it suitable for building scalable and efficient network applications. JavaScript with Node.js excels in asynchronous operations and is crucial for tasks like handling client meaning user requests, callback functions, you know, sync and await to manage those kind of code executions. JavaScript is often chosen for those applications that require real-time capabilities like chats and online gaming. So it's really handy if that's what you want to go into, like front-end development. But even if you're going to do back-end development, you should learn JavaScript because you need to understand what your front-end developer is doing so you can code along, you can build your back-end to be suitable for front-end. It's really not a choice. If you know, most full stack developers learn Python alongside JavaScript. You can certainly build backend using JavaScript, but it's more suitable, in my opinion, this is my opinion only, to build backend in like Python, C#, and then you do front end in JavaScript. Again, it's all dependent on the company that you work for, or the client that you're working with. And, you know, once you learn one language, it's much easier to learn your second language. So, you know, we're learning Python first. It's known for its readability, its simplicity in grasping the functional and syntactic concepts. The syntax is more natural to speaking English, or, you know, it reduces the learning curve for most programmers. Okay, so JavaScript is most associated with web development, and its interactiveness, and how JavaScript allows the front end developer to add interactivity to a web page, like what happens when you click a button and it changes the color of your text, your hyperlink text. If you want there to be a pop-up window or a drop-down box, that's all JavaScript. Before I jump on, does anybody have any questions on that? Jessica, you're gonna have to tell me.
I don't, no, there's no questions so far.
Okay, cool. Okay, so let's see. Jessica is pulling up the first example of okay, so she's got I just want to make sure, Jess, have you done the VEM yet?
No, you want me
Okay.
to?
Yeah. So Jessica's setting up a virtual environment. So she's going to do Python 3-m them. I can't see what that question is. I'm sorry. Okay. So let's activate it. So we're going to do a dot. You're on a Mac. You're on a Mac, right?
Hang on. It didn't work.
Oh, what did it say?
Isn't it? Well, it might have. Hold on.
I see a folder there.
Yeah, created one. It's just not activating. Hold on.
Oh, it's just one period. One period space, them, bin, activate. There you go. Okay. So now we have our virtual environment. Oh, and it's activated. And so I've got here a simple app.py, and can you go to the app.py? So the app.py is what you normally see for Flask. I'm calling the return render template to lesson1.html. So everything here is Python, okay? And we're calling to render the template at lesson 1. So let's go to lesson 1. So in this case, I have
Hang on 1 second, Asha. Andrew, go ahead. There's a question.
Okay, back on the app.py,
Mhm.
the flask is underlined like that, the squiggly. That was happening to me too, and I'm wondering why that is and what's going on there.
Oh, Jess, can you install Flask? I think you need to do pip3 install Flask inside your virtual environment.
And I had done that, but it was still squiggly lined like that.
That's it. That means it's not installing it properly. Are you on a Mac or a Windows?
Windows.
Okay, so that means that it's not, if it can't find is your Flask uppercase, maybe, possibly?
On the code or in the
Like line
terminal?
1, the first Flask. Is it possibly that
It looks just like that. It's a lowercase flask on the from, and then it imports from an uppercase flask.
okay. If it's underlined, it means that inside your virtual environment, it is not installing Flask properly. So when we go on break, can I look at your code
Yes.
when you do it? Okay, cool.
Okay,
Cool.
thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so let's look at lesson1.html. So here we have a title, which is JavaScript introduction. And then we have an H1 tag, which is all what you guys have already seen, typical H1 tag. So it says this is the main HTML. So then we have JavaScript, which is, and I want to point this out, right? When I did not know JavaScript and I was just building apps, and I wanted something cool like a pop-up a box, or I wanted when the user clicked the button. Most people who are not like front end developers, who are back end developers, who like they just want to do something cool on their front end and build out, you simply Google it and you say, okay, I want my button when the user clicks the button you want to pop up. Typically for front end, you Google it and you say, I want this to happen, and you can go find it pretty easily. Geeks for Geeks has a lot of JavaScript front end code that's available that it'll show you step by step what to do. You don't have to know JavaScript per se to build front end and build the interactivity into your code for front end. It's good to know, but it's not necessarily required, because you can just go Google it and you'll find a lot of websites that'll walk you through it step by step, and you can implement it. So here we are on line 9. We have a script tag, which means JavaScript. Okay, so on line 8 you have a JavaScript tag, and on line 10 I am declaring a variable. So in JavaScript, when you declare a variable, you say var. Okay, and so I've got a message. So I'm creating a variable named message, and its value is a string that says this is a display alert. Then on line 11, I'm using a JavaScript function named alert, and I'm calling the message variable. Okay, that's all. So what I want is a pop-up that says, hey, this is a display alert. Okay, pretty straightforward. Jessica, can you run it?
Yeah.
So there you go. You have a display alert. Cool. So this is different than, I can't see your whole screen. Okay, so it's saying that your web page you're getting a display alert. You can click OK and it'll go away. Okay, so when the display alert goes away, then it renders your HTML, your H1 tag. Any questions before I go on to the next example?
Niaz has a question.
Okay, Niaz.
Yeah, just out of curiosity, why are we running it through the Flask, and is there another way to run it if we're not running it through the Flask? Like, let's say if we just wanted to run it through HTML and Java without Flask, will we use Node or?
Yeah, you can use Node.js. Like you want to, again, this is about building applications, right? So we're trying to get everyone to get used to using some kind of framework. If you want to build your own framework, you're welcome to. But to learn how to build your own framework, which means front end, back end, routing, all those things, that it, I'm not even prepared to build my own like full structure application, like to build user authentication, like, and Flask doesn't necessarily have it does have user authentication, but to build all those things on your own, it does require quite a bit of knowledge and savvy to make it work, and it takes a lot of time to use Flask, or Django or anything, or any framework. It just makes your life easy, right? And but you could use anything you want, like any framework. Yeah, cool.
Wesley had a question. I don't know if you do anymore.
I don't know. I just wanted to know why you used var and not const if we're, if we're declaring the variable. I'm
You
sorry.
can use const too. I mean, the typical right at this point, you can use const too. CONST. Yeah, you can use const. Like if you're going on to flagship, we're gonna learn JavaScript full out, and we'll learn the difference between var and const. So, yeah, you don't need in this case you would use const. I don't know why I used var. It was late. How about that? That's my excuse. Okay, Jess, can you add a file for lesson 2 into your templates, and then all you're going to do for lesson 2, I believe, is
Did you send it to me?
I did. It should be in order. Yeah, right there. Okay, so in lesson 2, here, what I want to do is I am creating again, we have a title, we have an H1, and then I have a button, okay? And on my button, I want to greet a person and say hello, okay? So with my JavaScript, in this case, I'm declaring a variable person name, and I'm saying JTC students. I'm declaring a variable their age. I'm declaring a variable is student as true. And then I'm doing a function just like you do in Python. And I'm saying greet that person's name. Okay. And I'm creating an alert again. And I'm saying hello plus the name. Any questions before we run this? So again, on the click, we're going to do greet, and we're doing the person's name that's being passed through JavaScript.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, just the button on click, is that a HTML code or is that a JavaScript code?
That's HTML.
Oh, okay.
Right? Your JavaScript code is always going to be between the script tags. Right? So your button's going to be named say hello. So on click, It's going to run the greet, but it's going to be named say hello. So the button will say, it won't say click me. It'll say hello. It'll read say hello.
Rico?
Okay, in a video, I noticed that they said that you can put the script inside of the body, but they always on the outside of the body. Will that cause a difference? They didn't really explain if it'll cause an issue.
Typically you mean between in the body tag?
Yeah, the video said something about it was common to use.
Oh, you talked about the JavaScript? Put it outside the body tag?
Yes.
Will it be a difference? Now this is where I'm confused, right? Say you want your Java to be different in the title than in the body. Would you just do a whole nother script, or do you add it in as like dot body dot title? How does that work?
Oh, you're talking about the DOM, right? So yeah, you can do it separately. Like typically you would, in this case, because we're not doing complicated JavaScript, we're just doing like straightforward, hey, it's one button. It can be in the body. When you start doing more complicated interactivity, you don't want it to be in your body. And actually your JavaScript's going to go in a completely separate file.
Okay.
Just like your style. Like your style.css, your JavaScript will go in a completely different file.
And we'll just call that file.
And we'll call that file. Yes. So in this case, like I just want us to like get familiar with what JavaScript looks like and what opportunities you have to make your HTML a little bit more fun. The point of today's lesson and what we're going to do tomorrow is not to like get, it more to create stress that you have to learn JavaScript and front end. It's just to, broach the subject and say, this is what it is when you see it. And we're, it's an avenue if you want to pursue front end development, that JavaScript is critically important when you do front end. Okay. So Jess, can you run this or refresh the page? Do you have to do Control C and stop it?
Yeah, I think so. Well, to make sure.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. You're gonna have to stop it again. Can someone tell me why Jessica's rendering is still lesson1.html?
Can you ask the question again? Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I think you have to correct the app.py.
Absolutely. 100%. Good job. Gold star. Okay. So on line 5, the route of what we're rendering needs to be updated to lesson number 2. There you go.
Just add lesson 2 and still leave lesson 1, or it's going to create a conflict.
Yeah, it'll create conflict.
Oh.
Because you can add a second rendering, right? Remember how we did 2 different Flask pages on Thursday?
Right.
Right. But in this case, I just want to show like the difference between the JavaScript. I don't want to add another route. We'll do tomorrow. We're going to do a different routes in the CRUD page with several different JavaScripts. So here you see the rendering, you see the button say hello, and when she clicks the button say hello, it's going to do a pop-up. Right, it does your alert. Jessica, can you hit it again?
What do you want me to do with the button?
Yeah, so that's an alert, right? So when she clicks it, and then it goes away. Fantastic. Fun times. Love me some JavaScript. Okay.
James, go
All right.
ahead. There's a question.
Okay.
Is there a reason why it keeps popping up the server for the button? So when she clicks say hello, it'll say the server, like, or what you named it, says hello. So when she clicks the button,
I don't know. Mine doesn't do that. I don't know why Jessica's is doing that.
okay. And then for reference on that video real quick, the guy sat there for the question of where does it matter where you put your JavaScript on there. He specifically says, like, if you're calling the body prior to the body, then it shoots an issue and it won't
Right.
show up because you're calling the body because remember the code reads linear from top to bottom. So it says, oh, I don't know what the heck I'm supposed to look for.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. Good job. Fantastic. Okay, so Jess, we're gonna do lesson 3, and here we're gonna do an event. So here, I'm gonna let you. Okay, so we're doing event handling here. So we have a button named click me in our HTML on line 9. Okay, then in our JavaScript, we have we're calling it through the DOM, right? The button. And then we're adding active listening, okay? The code will execute when the button is clicked and it'll say the button has been clicked. Okay, that's all this is. What this example is that now we're using the DOM, right? We're doing the document.getElement. So I'm calling the element and then modifying it. Okay, using a method named add event listener. Okay, Jessica, can you run it? Again, I don't want everyone to be like, oh my God, this is like, I have to learn all this. This is
So,
just.
I need to update it here though too in the app.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
If I don't stop it, will it work if I just refresh?
I don't know. Mine doesn't.
Mine doesn't.
And there's a
Oh, a debug mode you can do.
yeah, and I don't like my debug mode on. There you go. Okay. All right. So the only difference between this example and the previous example is that in here I've called the clicking and the interactivity through the DOM, the document element. If you go back to the HTML, Jessica. So I'm calling the element through the DOM, and then I'm modifying it using a method. Okay, so let's go to the next one. Read. Okay, so in example 4, we have a paragraph. Oh, is it saved? I want to make sure you're ready to go.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have a p tag with a paragraph that we created as my paragraph, and we just say this is the paragraph. We've created a button named my button, and it's going to be it'll read change text. And then in the JavaScript through the DOM, we've identified my paragraph. We've identified the button. And then using active listening, the method in JavaScript, upon click, we're going to then change the paragraph to text changed. Okay, so when the button is clicked, the event listener will modify the paragraph to the words text changed. Make sense? Now, every single one of these, I was like, oh, Google, I want to change my text to using a button. And I was able to find either a W3 Schools or a Geeks for Geeks that walked me through how to do it. Like step by step, not a problem in like 5 minutes. So even if you don't know JavaScript, you can add interactivity very easily without knowing like all the syntax or like what it really like involves. And you know, you could add like your listeners or your button clicks fairly quickly. I know it's about like 5 times now. Sorry. Okay, so in lesson 5, Jessica, you're gonna have to change the app as well.
Okay. You want me to hold on? Just take out this.
What are we changing?
And you want me to take everything out that was in here and change it to the new one?
Yeah, that'd be great. Sorry. Did I send you all of it?
No, hold on. No, I messed it up.
Oh, I'll tell you where to keep. You're gonna keep line 2, get rid of line 3. There you go.
Okay.
Cool. Okay, so let's start on this. Oh, did you switch pages? No.
No.
Okay. So here I want to show that I'm sending. So just like you would have like a regular like to do app or what did we do? The user input, Jessica. What homework did we do with user input? The age. That's tonight's. Isn't tonight's the age calculator? Tonight's
No.
age.
Is it?
Yeah. I'm trying to think. What did we do recently that had user input?
We took in like when we did looping, when we took in
Yes.
Days of the week.
Yes. Okay. So days of the week. So in this case, I have in the app.py, I am creating variables that are being passed to my HTML. Okay. So I have a title that is Flask and JavaScript example. The message is welcome to, it's 2 strings, right? And I'm passing the variable count. Okay. So obviously I want to, I want to render those variables and the variable is named count. So I want to count something. So let's go to the HTML. Okay, so let's go to. Okay, so in my body, I have an H1 tag and I'm in curly brackets, right? Remember we have Flask, you have to put a double curly bracket in Jinja 2 to call the variable that's being passed. So on line 8, I'm referencing the variable message that's coming from app.py. Then I have a button on line 11, which is an increment button. So it's going to be named increment count. Okay, so then on line 14, I want to display and count. I'm going to display my count and I'm going to use my JavaScript for the number. Okay, so in my JavaScript, I want to create a variable using the DOM that's referencing the count. right? So at this point, I have a count. It's set at 0. And on line 22, I'm going to take that count and it's the button. I'm sorry. So every time I click the button, I'm going to do something with it. Okay. So on 25, I have, I'm saving my variable in JavaScript as count, and I'm referring to the count that is coming through from the app.py from Python. And then on line 28, I'm doing counting elements. So every time that the button is clicked, I'm going to count it. And then this is a little bit complicated, I'm sorry. So we're adding a listener to the button for incrementing the count. So every time the button is clicked, we're doing, you know how we do plus equals in Python to do an accumulator? In JavaScript, it's a plus plus. And I Googled this and I found this on Geeks for Geeks. And I literally, all I had to do was change the function names. The variable names, and I didn't have to do any work. It gave me all my instructions, and I didn't have to learn. I didn't have to know JavaScript. It was right there for me, and I just implemented it into this code. So I keep saying this over and over because I don't want anyone to feel like you have to know JavaScript to do like James Holick is saying for the homework. You can easily Google it and do your homework, and that's what I want you to do. I want you to Google it, and I want you to find the answer, and I want you to implement it. Okay, Jessica, can you run it?
Yeah, let me try. Cool.
So as long as this is part of this lesson is about whatever you need to find, you can find on the internet, right? And you can implement it, and you don't necessarily need to know the full extent of the language. You just have to understand what it's doing and, go from there. We're not expecting you to learn JavaScript. We're not expecting you to know front end, but it's just apply a little bit of your savvy, and, you can make your portfolio pretty cool. Or, if you're doing a client website, you can make it pretty cool. Yeah, I would love for you guys to put comments on where you found it for the homework. Okay, so example 6 is we're taking a loop of, I think we did fruits. So I have a list of fruits. Oh.
Is that okay? What else do I need?
I think we've got dupes somewhere. Hold on. I'm looking at your app.py should only be from Flask, import Flask, and then it should be a list of.
I think that's okay. I think that'll work.
There's something wrong with app.py. It's too long. Keep going up.
Yeah,
there shouldn't be any of that. I don't need 2013 through 22 delete.
Okay.
I don't need, keep going up. 3 through 11 delete. There you go. Okay. So, and make sure that's right. Can you go back to app.py real quick, just so I can look at it? Okay, yeah, that's right. Okay, so here we have a list of items that I'm going to pass into the HTML so we can render it in a loop on line 10 can you go back real quick? On line 10, remember, if I want to take a variable or a list, I need to reference it into the return render. So here I'm defining a variable that's going to the HTML as items equals items, which means you can name it anything you want. You can say items1 equals items, so it's not confusing. Someone had a question in chat. Is there a question?
Yeah, well, they want the code.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I can put
yes.
the code in the
Yeah.
Slack later.
Yes. Okay. So if you go to HTML6 or the HTML, what we're doing here is we are looping through, just like we would loop through just regular HTML. Here, it's a representation of the DOM again. So I'm on line 9, I'm creating an unordered list, and I creating the ID as item list, and I'm going to populate the JavaScript using that list. Okay, so then in JavaScript, I'm going to get the item, the list element on line 15. On line 16, I'm getting the individual items from Flask or Python on the app.py. Then 19, this is full JavaScript. Again, I Googled and I found this on W3 Schools. And I said, how do I loop through a list using JavaScript? And it gave me the code. And so I implemented the code. And so here I'm using text content on line 21, which is a method in JavaScript to set the text, and I'm iterating through those. And then I'm adding the list item to the list. And this is a little bit confusing, but I'm adding each item that's in the list to the JavaScript list. And then we're rendering it. So Jessica, can you run it? So here it's taking in the information from the Python Flask, and then we reference it in the JavaScript using DOM, and then we loop through it using JavaScript, and then we render it. Christian, what is the error on line 14?
No, I just saw squiggly lines there. I'm not sure, like the double curly brackets looks like there's something.
Yeah, I don't know why it's there. It works just fine. Like I look at it and I know that it's not wrong, but it gave me on my VS Code, it's giving me errors too. For someone who is like well versed in JavaScript, Wesley, you know JavaScript like off the back of your hand, right? Do you see why it's giving?
What's the problem, Wesley?
Is it because it's doubled? But I don't
think
see why.
because it's I think because it's doubled, and it's not so much. I think it's not so much a JavaScript as much as it's an HTML. It's just an HTML. It still works just the same, but I think that's just an HTML.
Right.
I don't believe that's a JavaScript issue as much as I think as much as an HTML. The way VS Code reads it, but it still works.
Right. I mean, like I looked at it like from like a JavaScript point of view, and I didn't see a problem with it. I thought it was wrong as well, but it works just fine. Okay, so the homework today is to do a simple age checker. Like, is the age over a certain number or less than a certain number? And then it does it, you are to do I believe it's a pop-up, like an alert. Again, I'm not asking you guys to learn JavaScript. I just want you to Google it and like try to add some interactivity to your rendering of HTML, and not stress about it. Any question? And we will put this up on, Jessica's going to put it up on, in the resource channels, tonight. So lots of quiet right now. Sorry. What's wrong with my Mac? I don't know. It's being wonky. I don't know what's wrong with it. Very sad.
Asha,
Yes.
so if I deactivate this virtual environment and I rerun it, reactivate it, will I have to install Flask again?
No. You don't have to change anything.
It's supposed to be there.
Yes.
It's just if I make a new virtual environment, like in a new directory, then I have to install it again.
Yeah, because you have to think about a virtual environment's a box, right? So when you install Flask inside of your virtual environment, it's capturing the version of Flask that you installed for that purpose, right? So then when you pass that app to somebody else, it's taking that version, it's taking like all the requirements with it, right?
Okay.
So you want to think of it of a virtual environment as a box.
Okay.
I don't know why James Ho like is giving me shit about my computer. I just cursed on the thing. Sorry.
No, it was the fact that Sandra put Apple guys.
Yeah.
Apologize.
I know. I'm so
So-
upset. I can't even tell you right now.
So
It's apologize. I apologize.
No, I have to explain that I wrote lessons all weekend and I had no problems with my computer, and I turned it on this morning and it's like something's like I don't know. It's very lethargic and it's like it's as though it has a virus, but it has no virus. It has plenty of memory, it has plenty of RAM. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. It's not overheating. So
but it could be because I watch computer techie stuff. It'd be the heat sink inside your laptop covered with lint, so that'll cause lag, like super lag. So even though it's not overheating, it's not processing the way it's supposed to.
right. Oh, that's
So-
a good idea. I should get a
Probably just needs a deep clean.
Yeah. It's a good idea. Yeah, I should get a can of the spray air. Yes. Just causes problems. Compressed air. Thank you very much. Okay. So you guys can take a break until 7:55. So I apologize for the ad hoc lesson tonight. I'm hoping tomorrow will be better. Otherwise, Drew, if you want to stay for a minute and I can look at what's going on with your computer.
And
Okay,
before
thank
you
you.
guys go, there's a change to the breakout rooms. So I'm gonna post the the new breakout rooms when you get back. Some of you may know, but a few people got switched around. I think it'll only affect 5 and 6, maybe 4, 5, and 6. So let's return at 7:55 Eastern time, 5 of the hour.
Yeah, I'll try to share my
Okay.
screen.
Yes, please.
Okay. Okay. Can you see it okay?
I can. Okay. So does it
Okay.
let you do Flask run?
Does it let me do this?
In terminal, when you do Flask run, does it let you
Oh, okay.
do it?
What, just write Flask run? Or
Yeah.
I went to run this code and it told me that it was way up here because I started trying to do other stuff.
Uh-huh.
I think this is what it told me. I tried to run this and it said this, I think. But
Oh, can I see your? Okay, can I see? I can't see the. Hold on.
I have no idea.
Three. Um, is it inside a folder?
What is
my
your
Flask?
app.py folder? Like what is what your file folder directory structure? What is the app.py folder that you made and then you named the
I
file the same thing inside it?
Okay.
Yeah, actually, yeah. Because I went to I thought if I made the app.py folder, it would just let me, and I realized I had to make a file. So I just made it the same named
Okay.
file inside of it to
Okay. So
be
let's
able to
right
work on
click
it.
on app.py, the folder, and rename it
Okay.
to like hello or something.
Okay.
Let's rename that to hello.
Asha, I'll be right back.
Okay. All right. So
Okay.
now that's that. Okay. Now, do you have an index.html?
Yeah, right here.
Okay. Drag that. See, like your drag that templates folder inside your HTML folder.
Inside the HTML
Okay.
folder. Well, I have the index file inside
Yeah,
the templates.
I know. Your templates folder, drag it
Yeah.
inside your hello folder.
Gotcha.
And then your static, does that go with is that all together?
It goes, yeah, is it all supposed to be in the hello
Yes.
folder, basically?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I had it in this Flask app folder. Or I thought I did. I don't.
Yeah, you didn't need that help. Okay, so okay. Yeah, just move that and then
Okay.
move the static into the hello. Yeah.
Okay.
And can you
Got
open
it.
for me? Open that. It's spelled wrong. It needs to be style with an E at the end.
Oh, okay. Whoops.
There you go.
Is it styles or style?
Singular.
Okay. Gotcha.
Okay, so now let's look at your index. Let me just look at your index real quick.
Okay.
Oh, there's nothing in it yet.
No. Is
Okay.
that why
We've got to put something in it. So it
Okay.
runs. So
Okay.
let's just put and
Okay.
so now let's just let's try to run it again. So let's save the index.html. And let's try to run. Yeah, let's run it. Let's see what happens.
Says no
Okay,
module name flag.
so can you do in your terminal? Can you let's are you inside your folder? Yeah. So week 4. Okay, can you install Flask? You're on a Windows, right? So it would be Python.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just do Python. I thought it was pip install Flask.
Right, but yeah, do pip install. Yeah. do pip and then let's see what it says. Do pip 3.
Okay. And just hit and just see
No,
what that
pip
does.
3 space install Flask.
All right, gotcha. Why? Maybe that's what it is. 'Cause I did pip install Flask, not pip 3.
Yeah.
Does
Pip
that
3 is the
matter?
version. Yeah, it does matter. Okay.
Okay.
So let's upgrade that. Yep, there see the squiggly went away.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome. Fantastic.
All
All right.
right.
Awesome. All right. I'll see you after break.
Okay. Thank you.
All right.
Drew.
What, Donald? What's up?
No, I was going to tell him I need to meet with him.
Oh, Drew. You said Drew. Okay.
Yeah, I said Drew.
Okay.
Oh, I met with Jessica this morning. We did some coding.
You did. Good.
Yes, we did.
Good.
It
Okay.
was cool.
Cool.
Hey.
Yeah. Hey,
Hey.
you can stop recording if you need.
What?
You can stop recording if you want.
Okay.